Hi everyone, today I'm going to talk about gerund and to infinitive. So before we learn about the rules, we first need to understand what a gerund is and what an infinitive is. So basically, a gerund is a verb plus ing, like working, playing, doing, and etc. And adding an ing to a verb, it will change the part of speech of that word. It will change from a verb into a noun. For an infinitive, it is the most basic form of a verb. We don't add s or es, we don't add ing, we don't add ed to it. So basically, there's no change to that verb. Okay? For example, run, draw, eat, and walk. These words, we call it an infinitive. Okay, after knowing what a gerund and an infinitive is, we need to learn the basic structure of a sentence to know why we need to use a gerund and infinitive. A sentence is comprised of a subject, a verb, and an object or a complement. So this is the basic structure of a sentence. For example, I play the piano. So we have subject, verb, and object here. So if you see a sentence like this, I like play the piano, you see there's more than one verb, then this is an incorrect sentence. Okay? So this is incorrect. Because there's never two verbs in one sentence. Okay, so remember this grammar rule. In each sentence, there's only one verb. There is no two verbs in one sentence. That's wrong, okay? So sometimes, if we really want to express an idea with two actions inside, how can we make a grammatically correct sentence?
Okay, so what to do if there are two verbs in a sentence? So the first thing we need to know is to identify the main verb of the sentence, which means the action you want to describe. For example, for this one, I like play the piano. The action you want to describe is to show your preference. You like doing the activity. Okay, so we identified the main verb and then we keep it. So for the remaining verb, what do? We change it into a gerund or a to infinitive, because by changing a verb into a gerund, you can change it into a noun. So there will be no more two verbs in a sentence. Or you add a to in between two verbs to separate them. So it's okay. And then the verb will become an infinitive. So it's no longer just a verb. Okay? Okay. So when we change the second verb into a gerund or to infinitive, it's not like we can change whatever we want. For example, the sentence, I like playing the piano. The correct one is to change the verb into a gerund. I like playing the piano instead of I like to play the piano. This one is incorrect. This one is correct. So which one should I use, a gerund or a to infinitive? How should I decide? There are actually some rules you need to memorize. Okay, let's start with gerund. Okay, the first rule for gerunds is that some gerunds are used after certain verbs. Okay, if you see these verbs, you know that you need to use gerund after them. For example, do you like working here? And we don't say do you like work here, okay? Because we see the word like, we need to change the word after it into a gerund. Another example, children often dislike going to school. I don't mind getting up. Okay, so you see this word like, dislike, mind, then the words after it must be a gerund. So basically, there's no rules for you to formulate the ideas, okay? You have to memorize them. These words, gerunds, okay? To do some revisions. But there's something I want to get your attention. That is, if you want to use would, like, would love, would hate, would prefer, for these words, even though you see like, love, hate to show your preference, we still use to infinitive instead of gerund, okay? So would like is different from like. I hope you understand this one. I hope you remember this one, okay? For example, my parents would love to meet you. Okay, would love to meet you is to infinitive. I would hate to miss Clara's party. Would you like to come with us? Okay, so if you see would like, it is always followed by to infinitive instead of gerunds. It's different from like, okay, remember. And then second rule for using gerunds is that we use gerund after preposition. Okay, whatever preposition after that we use gerund. We add ing to the verb. Okay, we change the verb into a noun. So the action will become activities. For example, after having a shower, I waited for Stephen. Okay, having a shower is no longer an action, but the activity. After this activity, I do something. For example, the tablet must not be taken before getting up in the morning. Okay, so getting up is no longer just an action to get up. Okay, it's an activity. This whole activity, before this activity is done, okay, the medicine must not be taken. Okay. So if you see preposition by, in spite of, on, without, or all other preposition, after that we use ing. Okay? In spite of studying, by working, on hearing the news without laughing. Just remember, after preposition, gerund. Okay, the third rule is that we use gerund after the verb go. For example, we say go swimming, go skating, go horse riding, go running, go skiing, go shopping. And all these become activities. Okay, swimming is an activity, skating is an activity. Okay, with ing, it becomes an activity. For example, how often do you go swimming? Okay, it's not just the action swim, but you go to do this activity. Okay, last year we went skiing. Okay, skiing become an activity, a noun. Okay, so we use gerund after go to describe sports and activities. So now here it comes to infinitive. Same as gerunds, we use to infinitive after certain verbs. You have to memorize these words. So whenever we see these words, we need to use to infinitive. For example, I didn't expect to see you. She wants to find a better job. Where do you arrange to meet? Okay? So we need to use to infinitive for these words. Memorize them. But if you see the word help, it's okay to use to infinitive or bare infinitive, which means no to in between. It's okay. All right, but for others, remember to infinitive. As I mentioned, when you use the word help, we can use bare infinitive. So what bare infinitive is? Bare infinitive basically means the infinitive, the verb without s, without es, no changes. Okay, but then you don't need to use the word to. So when do we use bare infinitive? First rule, we use bare infinitive after modal verbs. Remember modal verbs we talked about in class? The words like must, should, can, may, will, these are modal verbs. So after modal verbs, we use bare infinitive, no change, the most basic form of a verb, okay? And the second rule is, after some verbs, we use bare infinitive. For example, let, make, see, help, feel, these words, okay? Then we use bare infinitive. For example, she lets her children stay. Okay, we won't say she let her children to stay is wrong. Okay, we'll say she let her children stay up very late. I made them give me some money. I made him cry. I made her laugh. Okay, I didn't see you come. Can you help me finish? So after these words, we use bare infinitive. No change. Okay, so that's the end of this module 13, gerund and to infinitive. If you don't understand, you can try to replay the video and try to pause and digest the ideas, okay? But if you still have any other question, anytime message me, okay? Good luck to your revision.